All right, thank you for joining me here today on a Friday Night Live. We're really going to run up this session here. We have so much to talk about. Once again, we are always getting developments and excitement in the XRP community. Sometimes not always price action, and price action has been a little bit disappointing lately. But we did get some green candles today, and as I've been saying, this thing just keeps moving regardless of price action. There are people building on it, and there are many businesses and many business owners, entrepreneurs, and capitalists like myself that are taking a look at the XRP ledger, seeing that it's now about to have legal clarity, a pretty solid understanding out of the New York district. And once again, the story, the unique utility the XRP provides with partnerships that actually matter. This is what we're seeing built out on the XRP ledger right now, but we're just getting started. We have a long ways to go. Many people confused, many narratives, and as always during a bear market, the sentiment's usually down. And so the reason why I put out content on a daily basis is just to remind folks there's something interesting being built out here, something to be excited about. I definitely do get excited about it. And then we also have to tie it back into how does this relate to the greater reset that is taking place right now? What we see is a reset not only in the financial system, but you're seeing a falling empire. Some call it a changing world order. Call it whatever you want. You can see that the shift is here. It's not slowing down. It's only accelerating. And as we've been talking about here, entering 2024, it is only picking up in a major way. Now, if you guys could do me a big favor, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. But then please, if you appreciate our content, please make sure that you like the video and then drop a comment down below and let me know what the vibe is. Let me know what's happening on a Friday Night Live. We have a new XRP Ledger Foundation proposal that has been put forward, and we're going to be talking about that. I spent all day in the spaces, which can be a little tiresome. You know, it's not always the alpha. It's not always a respectable conversation. It's sometimes full of a lot of BS. But the reason why I try to wade through it and why I try to get to the truth here for our community is because there's so much confusion about XRP. It's why I started making content in the very first place 3 years ago. And so, as always, we got a full update coming for you guys tonight, current events, financial markets, and how to get on the right side of the transfer of wealth. Now, if maybe you do have an adult beverage like I do here with me, it's a Friday Night Live, so we're going to enjoy ourselves. I'm going to try to go through my update, and then I want to get to your Q&A so you can start dropping questions, comments right now, or start thinking about the conversation here. I'm going to run it through real quick, and then we'll get to your Q&A. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Thank you so much. Let's get it going, guys. So the market's been back up 42,000 for Bitcoin. We saw XRP back up to a 53-cent price. And let's take a look at it. So you can see here from the top down, basically all green candles back down to 41,800. But like I said, it did pierce through 42,000 briefly. Ethereum at the 2275 mark, just below 2,300. And for XRP back up to 53 cents. Now, watch out for the bull trap, smaller bull trap that's, part of the correcting from the magnificent bull trap rally that we had over the last year. Remember, we pointed back to the charts in 2019. We did a 340% bull trap rally. We just achieved about a 170, 180% rally, I believe, last year for Bitcoin, up to about 49,000. I haven't done the full measurement since we went up to 49,000. That happened while I was on vacation and while I had been pounding the table, warning everyone about this correction and the hype narrative that was going to come to an end in the massive liquidation sell-off sacrifice that was going to occur. And that's exactly what's happened. We went back below 40,000, back down to about 38,600, depending on your chart, for a brief moment in time. Now, we have a little bit of a run up here, but watch out for this fake out. Okay, watch out for this fake out. They love to do this to us. Well, they'll run things up pretty quickly. I mean, this thing shot up today on the update earlier today. I had on the screen behind me the charts, and we had some massive green candles being printed. And so folks, I think, have learned their lesson, though, this time, and they're kind of remaining patient. But nonetheless, please understand that the digital asset space will recover the fastest from the correction that we're going to be experiencing in the broader financial markets as well. The stocks are still achieving new all-time highs, and I think they did cool off here today. I haven't taken a look at the traditional stock market quite yet. If we have time, maybe I'll do that later today. But it was good to see the crypto market back up, remaining incredibly resilient. Senior U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials say they have no plans to take down razor wire from the southern border, and the relationship between Border Patrol, Texas, DPS, and the TMD remains strong. So I wanted to just give you an update on this situation. I did drop an exclusive Patreon update where I went more in depth kind of on my take that's basically on the internal chaos within the United States. Because we're in an election cycle, it's very sensitive on the social media platforms. And so we have to just stay dialed in, focus straight to the point, and then on to the next data point. Even though I like to interject my opinion. That's why you guys are here. You want to hear my analysis, right? And I'm not here to ramble on about politics. What I'm here to do is to relate it back to how our country is falling apart, all by design, and the enemy and the agenda that is now out in the open for us all to see. And the masses are getting woken up on a daily basis, smacked in the face with the truth, all of the truth that we were called crazy, lunatic, whack job conspiracy theorists for, that's all unfolding. And now you're seeing it before you in the predictive programming now hitting Netflix, now hitting the mainstream news. And we're talking about the cyber attacks. We're talking about civil war. We're talking about the World War III events. And then what we've been highlighting lately is that although the inflation war is being declared a victory from the Fed and other talking head pundits like Paul Krugman, the reality is that we've already got a tinderbox that's ready to go off. It's already kind of started, and it's just accelerating. We have a World War III event that is spreading out to many battlefields, many fronts, and this is a commodity currency war. I pray to God that it comes to an end here soon, but it looks like it's ramping up right now, and we're hoping to achieve some peace. But I did want to share the data point that the Border Patrol, many of them, you have to understand this, guys, there's a silent majority in this country that have common sense, believe in our Constitution, and just want to have a rule of law, freedom, and please, God, just let us pursue happiness, right? Individual liberty, freedom. Let us run our businesses. Let us believe who we want to believe in and love who we want to love. And we have a lot of guns too. God bless it. God bless it. And this is the beautiful moment right now, is that we get to watch the American resistance alive and well. And you better believe that we're ready to fight that fight. You better believe that we're going to have to talk about it. We're not going to stick to crypto, bro, like some of the haters want me to, because once again, it relates all back to our investment thesis, how we run and make business decisions, and how we position our families, even in the real estate asset class. You know, you sit in one of these states that wants to be a sanctuary state and wants to have a woke program that's making your state go broke and a complete laughingstock joke of the country, of the union here that we got. So you get to a point that you say, I think I might have to get out of Dodge. But like I said, I dropped an analysis on that for my Patreon Discord group, just so that that's on the private channel. If you guys want to get tapped in, that's at my website, zachrector.com. I will continue to update you guys further on this one. And what we got right now is our 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, responding to the verdict, the jury ruling that he needs to hand over $83 million to Jean Carroll after this case has come to a conclusion. He says, our legal system is out of control and being used as a political weapon. They have taken away all First Amendment rights. This is not America. Absolutely ridiculous. I fully disagree with both verdicts and will be appealing this whole Biden-directed witch hunt focused on me and the Republican Party. This is getting real spicy up here in the United States, folks. And, you know, we've been talking about this in relation to the digital asset space, obviously in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, many of us in the XRP community. And so we've been attacked by our government, the bureaucracy beast. And now we've seen a weaponized Department of Justice, an FBI. And as I was saying, there's patriots within the Border Patrol. There's patriots within the FBI. There's patriots throughout our government. As someone who is the most critical of our government, I understand that, you know, the founders set us up for a basic role, a basic federal government that was basically set to defend us, and the Treasury Department, which was supposed to be in charge of the currency, and then you let the free market have a good time, essentially. And the beautiful thing now is we're starting to see a revival of that in our country because the enemies push back so hard and because their program doesn't work out. See, it only works out for them, the elite at the very, very top 1% well-connected level, right? And see, even if you're 1% and you're well off, they'll still weaponize their system, their bureaucracy beast against you. And this is why every American should have a red folder. For those of you guys who know what the red folder, every American should have a red folder. And most likely, if you're in another country, you're in another battle as well. You have a legal battlefield to fight on as well. So get a red folder, get a blue, whatever color you want your folder to be. What's in the folder is a legal defense against tyrants. We got to stay tapped in on how we can understand our rights, understand how to fight for them, understand how to elect people that are going to restore these values that gave us opportunity in this country. And God willing, we'll make some wealth too because we have solid business strategies and we understand how to invest towards the end of a currency life cycle. The other part of it is understanding the falling empire includes the internal chaos, the external chaos, and the monetary reset is underway along with the commodity war. And I was just watching Vancouver local news, and they were talking about how the gold that these miners want to go get up there. And I was just at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference talking with all of these miners and the guys that run these companies. I talked with a company out of Idaho, company of 50 people, family business. And they've gone public on the stock exchange. I forget the company name. I'm going to talk about them later. They've already gone public. This is not a buy signal. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you a story. This is a mining company, 50 people. The gentleman that I was talking to, he had both of his sons working in the business. And then the other gentleman at the booth was a young guy, probably a little older than me. And his grandfather founded the business back, 100, not 100 years ago, but, 50 plus years ago. This is a gold mining operation out of Idaho. But the point why I'm bringing that up is because I just listened to the companies up in Vancouver, and I just watched a news clip out of Vancouver, and they want to shut these programs down. We saw this today with the Biden administration saying that he's going to suspend all further liquid natural gas exports out of this country. So not only do we have the ability to be energy independent and bring down the cost of our energy in a tremendous way, we have actually excess that we can divvy out as well. And that's going to drive business. This is what we need for a strong economy. But because it doesn't align with the Green New Deal, I guess, they're shutting it down. This is what got me so excited up there in Vancouver as I'm learning about these copper plays, these companies that are invested in the processes in getting copper out of the ground. And you look at the copper, the commodity itself. What got me so excited is in this commodity space, you have an opportunity to invest in assets that have been underperforming, just like XRP, right? They've been underperforming. Gold, silver. Yeah, they've gone to all-time high, but we still expect a lot more, right? So you have an opportunity to get exposure to the underlying assets that have been suppressed, but then you also have an opportunity to get access to the companies that have been just killed and really overlooked. Nobody's looking at the space. Nobody's watching this. Excuse me. And very few people, there's a solid precious metals community out there, but the masses do not understand gold or silver other than it being jewelry and understanding that, there's the crazy gold bugs. The central banks are buying it at the fastest pace in the last 50 plus years. And we are seeing data right now that takes us right back to when the world was falling apart in 2020. What I'm talking about is 20 million ounces were drained out of the COMEX gold vault yesterday. And today we are now registering gold dipping below 9 million ounces for the first time since May of 2020. Now, we hadn't seen 20 million ounces drained out of the vault since April of 2020. Back when the world was falling apart and back when gold was having a run up. And gold, once again, holding incredible support at 2,000, went and achieved a new all-time high. So gold is doing what it's supposed to do. It is at a new all-time high. the party's just getting started. When you understand cycles, you can see the commodity super cycle coming from a mile away, especially based off of the fact of how they're playing the Green New Deal. Whether you love it or hate it, or whether, no matter what you feel about it, this is what they're pushing. And so the play couldn't be more clear for me. And the central banks obviously see it as well. And we're also seeing it in the COMEX silver vaults as well, with over 1 million ounces. Now, folks don't understand that this is still money. They talk about all the different utility and industry that it's used in, and absolutely, that's what makes it even more valuable as a commodity for utility, but then you also can use it as money. And what you're seeing now is the world is hungry, thirsty for an alternative to the US dollar as a reserve currency. See, the world is still having to use the US dollar for a currency means of payment transaction settlement tool. But what they are doing, we still have to use the dollar. We still have to pay back our existing debts in dollars. But for any new debt, we want it denominated in our local currency. We want it denominated in something else. We're trying to figure out how to back our CBDC by gold or a basket of commodities. Anybody who wants to get ahead is going to lean into that. And just like you saw with Bitwise, publishing their public Bitcoin address. They're a spot Bitcoin ETF, one of 11, and they're the first one to publish their public wallet address so that you can track how much Bitcoin they have, and you can make sure that they have the Bitcoin that they're claiming that they have. This is where it translates and where it expands out into the currencies and the nations around the world that are trying to say, please respect our dollar. Well, to respect your dollar, you got to back it by something, or you have to have the largest military in the world. The problem with our military on that front, God bless our troops, is that we've been expanded so thin. We're on so many different battlefronts, and our country's broke with our interest payments on the debt now exceeding our military budget. This is where you have to cut back the military or just fire back up that money printer. We've invested for both. That's the beauty of it. The more that they kick this can down the road, the more that they print, the higher all of these all of these assets go. Now, if you guys are looking to get precious metals, you guys already know the deal. It's at my website, ZachRector.com. We can help you roll over a 401k or get them shipped directly to your house. Let's get into crypto, though. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, by the way. Thank you so much. Cheers. Let's get into crypto. This is massive. This is big. If you guys haven't already, please share this one out far and wide. All roads lead back to Ripple. We've always said it, and it continues to get confirmed day after day. What are we taking a look at right here? Larry Fink got converted over to having a Bitcoin spot ETF, started to understand digital assets, and started to put this thing together after he brought Robert Mitchnick on board from Ripple to be the head of digital assets at BlackRock. Now, we see Anthony Scaramucci sharing a story about Larry Fink, talking about the respect of a company leader to be able to shift his mind when he's presented with new information. But what you have to pick up on is that it's not that, he's saying that Bitcoin's great, it's got its store of value, it's got a little story behind it. But these guys, they come to get a piece of the action. And that's why they filed for the ETF. That's why they have 4 gold ETFs. Okay, right? BlackRock, this is why they've come for the real estate market as well. Listen in on Anthony Scaramucci talking about how it was Robert Mitchnick from Ripple who helped Larry Fink see the light.
I met with Larry Fink in November.
Sorry, folks, my bad. I actually clicked on my messages there.
I met with Larry Fink in November 2021. He says, you really like this Bitcoin? I said, I do. And then he looked at me and said, Bitcoin sucks. I said to Larry, okay. I said, I think you're wrong. I just think you need to do more homework. Now, there's a guy named Robbie Mitchnick at BlackRock. He's a young kid. He came into BlackRock with the idea of creating a Bitcoin ETF. He orange pilled Larry. And I'm going to give Larry a lot of credit because Larry actually did the homework. Larry did the reversal as a result of being steeped in understanding exactly what it was and why it will be an international store of value. It takes a very smart leader to pridefully say that Bitcoin sucks and then 24 months later say, you know what, I've got this wrong. BlackRock needs to be a part of this.
And BlackRock wanted a piece of that action. That's where they stepped in and said, let's get a deal done here, filing for the spot Bitcoin ETF, and they filed now for a spot Ethereum ETF. And when Larry Fink was asked about it by Charlie Gasparino, he played dumb, and he said he couldn't talk about it. And he said that you wouldn't like my answer. Now, Charlie's the guy that's been bashing Ripple and XRP, so for me, I took that as Larry Fink knows that Charlie's kind of been digging on him, been playing with the XRP community, and so to me, that response was a clear sign that they're definitely considering it, and they're already building out funds for multiple digital assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we suspect that they'll do XRP as well. And what's so interesting is that we just covered this morning's update where we found Ripple was hiring a new position for institutional DeFi. So if you missed that video, I dropped that earlier today. It was titled Institutional DeFi on the XRP Ledger. And Ripple is hiring a global senior manager based out of New York to be an institutional DeFi leader. Perfect position in New York, in Wall Street, where they can just go pound these Wall Street guys and get deals done. And in the description, it said basically help with ETFs and institutions, adopt and use the XRP Ledger for DeFi, specifically mentioning ETFs and other products. So right now, Ripple is hiring to help bring on the largest institutions in the world, not just for ETFs. That's just going to be one facet of XRP's utility, and the value is it's going to demand, a lot of demand and exposure, I believe, will come from ETFs like Grayscale's large cap fund, which will include Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the top cryptos, including XRP, which they just added back to their large cap fund. So I believe that this is inevitable, that we will see many XRP ETFs. And BlackRock, you see, they brought in who? A person, a leader from Ripple, Robert Mitchnick. And you see this revolving door between Ripple and Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, the government, every department of the government. The list goes on, right? It's a revolving door between the leadership roles and positions in Wall Street and the biggest companies in the world. And I say this before I get into the new XRP Ledger Foundation, proposal, and a little bit of a debate conversation. This is what's beautiful about decentralization. A little bit of a conversation and debate happening right now about the XRP Ledger Foundation and the role that Ripple plays in the XRP Ledger ecosystem as well. For me, it's very clear. They're targeting high-end, high-value institutions, banks. And what they're doing on the lower level is they're providing technical support to make sure that the XRP Ledger is going to function, and bringing forward utilities for the XRP Ledger that are going to benefit everyone from the bottom up, just like David Schwartz said in his interview on CoinDesk yesterday, emphasizing the point that they want to see growth from the bottom up. They're just one company that is using the XRP Ledger. We have to get away from this idea that Ripple controls the XRP Ledger. They don't. As I titled this session here tonight, Ripple is not dumping on us. I'm going to explain this a little bit further here. Okay, but we have to understand, they only run one validator on the DUNL list out of 35, 36. I believe they've added one now. There's 36. They run one. You need 80% consensus, about 28, 29 votes, to be able to get an amendment passed. So Ripple has one vote. They do not control the ledger. You have to understand, we've been trying to bring truth to XRP for the last 3 years, and people are still confused, and there's going to be even more confusion and misinformation because there's a bunch of new people coming in too. And for the large part, outside of the XRP community, a lot of people just look at XRP as Ripple's coin that is for the bankers, and that's it. And that it's going to help roll out CBDCs. And I don't like that because I don't like CBDCs, even though CBDCs are inevitable, whether Ripple's there or not. Whether the CBDC is running on the XRP ledger or not, it just happens to be that the XRP ledger works really dang well for payments and for many other utilities as well. And for all intents and purposes, everything that we've got going on is digital anyway. So we might as well lean in, and we might as well fight to make sure that the central bank digital currency or the central bank or our treasury is held accountable. I.e., why do we even have a private Federal Reserve? That's a conversation for another day. Let's get back to the XRP ledger though. What's very important to understand though is we got to kill these narratives. These are narratives that are confusing new people, that are, misleading new investors and investors who are trying to understand their XRP investment. Maybe they've been here for a while, but it's taken me years to learn all the intricacies, and especially on the technical front. For me, I understand more business. I understand world events, current events, politics. I have a good understanding of the financial system. I've been studying the Federal Reserve for over 10 years. And so I understand that aspect of it. It was the technical aspect that I had to get caught up on. Now I feel like I sufficiently understand the ins and the outs of the XRP ledger. And for many people, this is where we got to spread that, we got to advocate for learning the truth about the XRP ledger, the fact that it is decentralized, and the fact that Ripple is actually not dumping on us if we look at how they have handled the escrow. If we look at how they handle what they called back in 2017, a world reserve digital currency. I'm going to specifically show you guys here in a second. Before I do, I want to share you guys this proposal that is for the XRP Ledger Foundation. We have to be very clear, because what I'm talking about is we're about to see a crazy narrative come out that's going to be, we could call it XRP Ledger Foundation Gate, right? We had AMM Gate, we got this gate, we got Zahao, we got division, we got price action down, so everybody wants to argue with each other just to argue. Right now, we're trying to control our energy. So like I said, I spent time in the Twitter spaces today speaking with developers who can help me understand what is happening here, what this proposal is about, and I'm going to present that information for you guys right here. So what we're looking at is a proposal from a developer at Ripple. This is GitHub. This is, once again, all open source. And this is where they host, all the code and on the conversation about the code, right? And this proposal is for a member-governed XRP Ledger Foundation. And it proposes a new system of community-led governance overseeing the XRP Ledger Foundation. Now, I'm going to show you guys right here. The XRP Ledger Foundation is kind of I don't want to say informal. It is definitely a legal entity, and it definitely is a formal organization. But the process, the goals, the mission, it's not as clear as it could be. Other than, I mean, it's very clear. You can go. I'll show you guys here. The homepage reads off and kind of shares what they're doing here. But when you look on the XRP Ledger Foundation team, you got a list of many developers and technical advisors, and you have a few managing board members, Bharath Chari, Christian Jarve, and then, you got, head of communications, advisor, legal advisor, Thomas Silkjar, a lot of people know him, head of analytics and compliance. Daniel is a senior software developer, not to be confused with Daniel from Casino Coin. And the most infamous, the most famous and popular would be definitely Vite Vint, managing board member. So there's 3 managing board members, and I wasn't actually able to get my question answered today. I'd asked a couple of developers how the current process goes for voting and how decisions are made at the XRP Ledger Foundation. And it doesn't really appear to be public that I can find. And we have not seen the XRP Ledger Foundation actually respond to this proposal yet, which you're probably asking, right? This is an XRP Ledger Foundation proposal, but they haven't responded yet. That's right. That's where this gets interesting, and that's where there is somewhat of a divide as far as the XRP Ledger and the role that Ripple plays. This is where it gets a little spicy, right? And there's a lot of emotions are running high right now in not just the XRP community either. This is the broader cryptocurrency space. And obviously, when you just go out anywhere, tensions are high, right? Because we're actually in a recession, even though they don't want to call it that. But what's interesting about this proposal is what it would do is basically allow there's 3 classes of members that can join the foundation, right? And so you have, let me pull this up real quick, the membership classes. You have individual members. And remember, this is just a proposal that is being put out for conversation. This is not even being voted on as an amendment. And this has nothing to do with the XRP ledger or any sort of amendment, how it works. This has nothing to do with that, actually. What it has to do with is the foundation, which is a nonprofit entity, which was created with Vitsevin and Alloy Networks, was the primarily founders of it. And then they were funded by Ripple. So the XRP Ledger Foundation was created, and then Ripple's given them the most amount of money and really got the ball rolling. You would have three classes of memberships for the XRP Ledger Foundation. First off, you would have individual members. That would be folks like myself or maybe you guys out there, where you would be able to pay $75 or 75 XRP per year for your membership dues. So you'd be like an HOA, it'd be like, your gym membership, you'd be like anything else. Your Netflix, except you're paying up for a 1 year, right? 75 XRP. That's what the membership would be, and you would be included as an individual member. Okay? And they don't really list out too much quite yet on what would what rights would you be granted, whether you would be able to vote on that or not, because the second class is corporate members and the third class is sustaining members. Now, sustaining members are basically big entities that would be putting up something like 1 million XRP per year. So you'd have to be very big, right, to put up 1 million XRP per year to be a sustaining member, which is essentially buying your way onto the foundation. The second class is the corporate members, which could be an individual or an entity, could become a corporate member by signing the corporate membership agreement to be defined and paying yearly membership dues according to a tiered system to be defined. And they're talking about basing it maybe off of a scale where a smaller company or individual could be 500 XRP per year. Scaling up, for companies with 1 to 10 employees, you would be at 500 XRP per year. And then if you get bigger than that, up to the larger companies, up to 500,000 XRP per year. So it'd be kind of tiered. So if you just wanted to contribute, and I would sign up for this right away. I just would, just out of principle, because I've been looking for ways to support the XRP ledger and the developers and the builders. Whether they use the XRP properly or not, I'm here to support the cause, because I believe that a lot of them work their butts off. There's a lot of people working their butts off behind the scenes that don't put their face out there, that are making sure that this dang thing runs, right? So I'd support the 75 XRP per month. Sign me up right away. Take my money. Take my XRP. I want to see this thing move forward. And I want to take care of our developers and builders. The second part is the corporate members. Right? Anywhere from 500 XRP tiered up to 5,000, 50,000, 500,000. Okay. And then the final tier would be sustaining members. And they do show the structure of how they believe that it could be put together, right? With individual members, I guess, yes, the individual members would be able to vote, right? And you would have board of directors election, which is what they would be able to vote on. They'd be able to vote on the board of directors election. And, you have 3 community directors, 1 corporate director, and 2 sustaining directors. And so basically they're suggesting that sustaining members would be able to basically buy their way onto the XRP Ledger Foundation board of directors. So this, in the conversations that I was listening to today, there's a little bit of pushback from that, right? Because not many people are a fan of just being able to buy your way in. The whole idea of decentralization is that you have just, everybody's kind of working for the common good, right? Everybody's adding their block to the chain and making it work, right? Just to simplify it for the folks out there. And what this is about, once again, I believe, it was suggested by Ripple, which has a lot of people kind of, going, what the heck's that about? You have to understand, Ripple, just like all of us, are just one of many contributors and people using, entities using the XRP ledger. It's okay for them to put something forward. It's okay for them to want to see this system grow. And they're taking a step here in the right direction, I believe, of decentralizing the XRP Ledger Foundation. And if this is structured properly, I mean, I'm not sure everybody will be happy at the end of it, but I think this is a good idea. And the initial ideas that they put in, I do believe are good, because what it could lead to is the ability for the XRP Ledger community to really be heard. And what's even better than that, in my opinion, because folks, we want the community to be heard, but not everybody has a technical background and knows what's best for the XRP Ledger. But where this gets exciting for me is the ability for the XRP Ledger Foundation to get funding to the businesses and the builders on the XRP Ledger in a decentralized way, i.e. voting on projects that could potentially be getting funding. Now, this is exciting to me because I believe that we're about to see a whole new tranche, a whole new wave of institutions and companies that are going to be choosing the XRP Ledger because of the legal victory and clarity that XRP has, and because the utilities that are now coming to the XRP Ledger are really set to blow up DeFi on the XRP Ledger, which is what the rest of the space has had. We were late to NFTs. Now we're late to AMM. We're about to get AMM. We're about 5 votes away, and it's appearing like we are going to get those here soon. And we just got Clawback passing the 80% threshold. That one's on the way. Ashley Prosper sharing that it looks like we have 5 votes waiting to switch from nay to yay once Ripple 2.01 rolls out. So they just rolled out, They just rolled out Ripple 2.0, and they found a bug that was preventing many of these validators here from wanting to vote yay on the AMM. So they implemented a fix, and that's being implemented in 2.01. And it looks like we have 5 votes coming from Expectar, Alloy, XRPL Labs, XRP Goat, and FTSO. And they are going to be voting yay, it looks like, after 2.0 rolls out, which would give us the threshold that we now need to get to 28 votes on the XRP Ledger AMM amendment. This is going to unlock DeFi from the retail level, from scam tokens being put into liquidity pools and literally taking XRP from our community, which I am very worried about. This is why I'm an advocate of education. This is why I'd happy send my 75 XRP per year to the foundation, and why I work my butt off every single day to help provide clarity to our community on how the XRP ledger works and the relationship and the role that Ripple is playing, not the narratives and the BS that is said, the slander that is slewed all over the internet about Ripple and Brad and the team that have actually just set out to make sure that the XRP currency, the native token of the ledger, is a reserve currency of the world. And then they've set out to make sure that the XRP ledger has all the technical capabilities that our community needs to build the products that we want to provide for our clients, to build real businesses that are sustainable. And as I've been saying now here for a while, I'm sorry, but a lot of the crap that's been put on the XRP ledger is just that. It's a bunch of crap. And I'm not going to name names, but you guys know the deal. And that's 90% of the space too. That's not just XRP. That's 90% of the space is a whole load of crap. And I don't spend any time dealing with that crap. For me, I'm very quick when I'm looking over projects. And I've yet to come across a project that gets me as excited as XRP, and a community that seems to be as robust and mature as the XRP community. We might not all agree. We might debate riddles. We might debate price, okay? But at the end of the day, right, we're all here to see the XRP community, the XRP ledger grow, and we're here to support anybody that's going to build real utility on this ledger. Now, I want to get to the point of Ripple not dumping on us, because this is the next point that has been misconstrued for the last few years, and we now have the court documents that prove to us that Ripple has not been dumping on us. And remember, let's define dumping on us. Dumping on us would be Ripple dumping XRP onto the exchanges for retail investors to have to buy. Basically, the new supply of XRP that would be coming on would have to be bought up by retail holders. That is what I consider dumping on us. And this is what many people mistakenly believe is taking place with Ripple and the XRP escrow right now. So much misinformation, so much confusion. And I get it, it is confusing. But then you have a lot of people that are trying to mislead, that are providing disinformation on purpose. But what Ripple's been doing with the escrow and what they've been doing with their XRP since the lawsuit got filed is they only started selling to their on-demand liquidity partners. They are only selling XRP to institutions that are going to use XRP for on-demand liquidity, for treasury management, and for other utilities. They're selling it in a way that they believe does not meet the definition of an investment contract that would meet the Howey test. And that's why you are seeing a back and forth right now in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, is because the SEC is trying to get financial statements for 2022 and 2023, and they want to get all of the post-complaint contracts for the sales of XRP. What does that mean? Let's make it simple. December 2020, Ripple gets sued. Ripple has still been selling XRP after the lawsuit. Those are all of the post-complaint sales. This is what the SEC wants to see. And what we're going to find out is whether or not Judge Torres is going to open that up and give the financial statements from 2020 and 22 and 23 to the SEC, and whether or not they're going to allow the SEC to look at all of these post-complaint sales and contracts. But clearly, if Ripple got sued and they continue to sell XRP, continue to sell billions of XRP. This is why I titled the video a couple weeks ago when I was on vacation. I titled it Ripple, something about 3 billion on the line for Ripple. And I gave an update on this SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. What the SEC is trying to say is that you guys have sold $3 billion worth of XRP that we know of after the lawsuit got filed, and we want to take a look at that. Now, the reason why this is important is because it's one of the common misconceptions and lies that is stated about the XRP escrow and how Ripple is handling it. And the way I look at it is Ripple is the Treasury Department for this reserve currency called the XRP. That's what is happening right here. They control most of the supply. To say that the supply of XRP is supplied, fair. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll tell you right now, I am been very impressed with how Ripple has actually distributed that XRP. And I'm very happy that they're not selling it to exchanges where me and you, retail Joe Blows, have to come up with the dollars and the shekels to buy it, because if we did, we would have even more downward pressure. But they're being strategic about how they sell it to only their on-demand liquidity institutional partners, where it's going directly in, being used for utility, and it's institutions that are having to cough up the money. They're not making retail cough up. So by definition, they are not dumping on us. Now, some folks want to say that Ripple is selling to exchanges. You have to understand, Ripple has had to put ODL through the exchanges because the DEX on the XRP ledger doesn't have enough volume. The XRP ledger DEX is about to get the AMM, the automated market maker, which is the secret sauce. And that's going where all of the liquidity is going to really start to ramp up on the XRP ledger DEX, because we'll have all these liquidity pools built out. We'll be able to go get, everybody will be able to go get on-demand liquidity essentially. It'll be ODL for the XRP ledger for everybody. Because we haven't had enough volume there, we haven't had strong enough pairs and issued assets. What they've been doing is they've been going to these exchanges is where the on-demand liquidity flows have been handled. And we even talked with Simon McLaughlin, the CEO of Uphold. He let me know that they were about to get added to Ripple's ODL product. And then we covered that when the announcement was made that Ripple had added Uphold as basically a node for, to say, to simplify it, a node basically to their network for ODL. And Uphold obviously is an expert in providing liquidity, and they have relationships with dozens of market makers and other exchanges, right? So what we got here was key data point that is confirming what I'm putting in the title here, which is that Ripple is not dumping on us. Let's get right on into it. So This is what we're talking about right here. This was shared here originally by Kashta. This is 3 very important data points taken under oath and not contested by either party. This is from the SEC's reply document, by the way. Okay. Now, I'm just going to look into this. I retweeted this and I summarized. Ripple only selling XRP to ODL clients since the lawsuit in 2020. So how is Ripple dumping on us retail investors if we aren't the ones having to buy it from them? In my opinion, they are strategically distributing XRP in a way that is beneficial to the XRP Ledger ecosystem while making a profit for doing so, which we want. Because what are they doing with that profit? They're getting more people on board. They're hiring more employees. They're continuing to expand their business that is based around the XRP Ledger. And I said, also, I would much rather have them getting XRP into the hands of institutions who have trillion-dollar problems to solve instead of Joe Blows like myself. Now, we saw that Bill Morgan actually responded to my tweet, and he said, in fact, Ripple stopped programmatic sales in May of 2020, and sales after that time were to ODL customers. Put that together with the amount of XRP put back into the escrow each month, and the escrow dump narrative looks even weaker. Excuse me. Bill Morgan laying it down. The escrow dump narrative looks even weaker. Since May of 2020, they stopped the programmatic sales, which were the sales to exchanges. So now they are only selling XRP to their on-demand liquidity institutional partners. If they don't have a custody solution or they're not able to hold the XRP, then they're going to tap into one of Ripple's now custody solutions like Medico, or they'll just borrow the XRP from Ripple through line of credit. Ripple can be the custodian, and or they're using these centralized exchanges like Uphold and others to provide that liquidity. Where this is about to change and where this is about to lead to XRP price go up, I feel confident saying that, is when the AMM gets activated, probably within the next week here. And then we're going to start to see Ripple, which they just announced at the end of last year, they are already starting to move some of the on-demand liquidity flows and volume over to the DEX, where they're not going to go to Uphold. They're not going to go to any of these exchanges. They're going to go straight to the DEX. And this is the decentralized exchange that's built into the XRP ledger. It was the first DEX, one of the first DEX in the blockchain space. You don't have this on Bitcoin. You don't have this on Ethereum. Well, I guess you have it through Uniswap. You have it through layer 2s on Ethereum, right? And so this is where all of the liquidity is going to start to build out. And to build out that liquidity, you need 2 things. You need a lot of XRP, or you need a higher price XRP. And it's going to be a back and forth as we get there, building up the liquidity to levels that I'm excited to see. Like I said, I love to see the Ripples getting XRP into the hands of institutions that have trillion-dollar problems. And you might think that this is just something I'm throwing out there. They have a $1 trillion problem as far as negative assets on their balance sheet. I'm not even talking about cross-border payments. We're talking about $684 billion unrealized losses on their bonds. We're talking about over $2 trillion of commercial real estate debt that's bust as well. I just pulled a data point. 40% of the office loans in the United States are basically in negative equity. They have $1 trillion problems just on their balance sheet. Not even talking about cross-border payments, utility, derivatives, these types of markets. But the AMM here is going to, I think, get the attention of the rest of the cryptocurrency space, and it's going to get more people holding onto their XRP. Instead of being short-term traders of their XRP, they're going to keep a larger balance of XRP so that they can just store it in the AMM and get that reward for providing liquidity as a market maker. This is different from staking, because this is happening in a decentralized way, and what you're doing is you are putting up your assets to become a market maker. You're doing so through a automated function within the XRP ledger. That's what this is. This is different from staking on all of these layer 2s on Ethereum. And think about this, right? All these people want to criticize Ripple and how they've been handling XRP and this and that. when you look at what they've been doing since 2020, they're getting it into the hands of people that are using it for utility. That's what we want. Good. Love it. Next, they have been giving out grants to all sorts of businesses and companies and builders. Not all of them have been successful. Many of the companies that Ripple has actually given grants to haven't built anything that's actually worth a you-know-what. Just being frank and honest. There's been incredible successes. XRP Cafe. I think it's the number one NFT platform, if not one of the top ones on the XRP ledger. After we got NFTs, there started to be some NFT marketplaces built out on the XRP ledger. XRP Cafe is one good example of an investment made by Ripple that's a healthy business, a good investment. Not all of them are going to be winners. And so people are frustrated and they want, and specifically developers within the XRP Ledger ecosystem are frustrated because they want Ripple to give them funding. And they're also frustrated because VCs aren't coming to invest in the XRP Ledger ecosystem quite yet. Now, we have seen some. Michael Arrington's one right off the top of the bat. I interviewed Gen M Partners. They're a private equity group that's looking to launch their fund on top of the XRP Ledger. So, I mean, there are from smaller funds, smaller businesses, all the way up to bigger groups that are looking to tap into this and invest in this. But you have to understand, who wants to invest in digital assets? One, not many people. Even you saw BlackRock 2 years ago, Larry Fink said that it sucked. Wanted no piece of it. Now he's moving in. Now they're going all in, right? And who in the space has wanted to invest in the XRP Ledger ecosystem when the main company that's been building and using the XRP Ledger, been using XRP, is getting sued by the SEC and has had to cough up $200 million? Who wants to invest in that? Well, only crazy folks like us that have bought the heck out of XRP during this lawsuit. And many of us are going to be thanking the SEC that they helped us acquire XRP sub $1, sub 50 cents for so long. Thank God. Who wants to invest in that system, though? And what businesses feel like they can come and fire it up as a startup company, fire it up as a company that wants to build their business on the XRP Ledger when you got that cloud overhanging us? This is why we do the math on the damages done to the XRP community and to Ripple. And I talk about hundreds of billions worth of damages. I talk about over $1 trillion worth of damage done to the XRP community just based off of the math of if XRP hadn't been suppressed and had gone, to at least 2 or 3x the all-time high of 2018. If it would have done that in 2021, you're talking about hundreds of billions of market cap that would have been gained by the XRP community. That's damages. 200 million spent by Ripple. That's damages. The damages to their business. We can't even calculate that or know. Good thing, though, their business has still been growing. They went from 300 partners at the beginning of the lawsuit to 500 partners. They've gone from just firing up ODL to 10 billion volume in ODL per year, growing at 10 times year over year. And so I think that we are in the middle of a recession. It's getting tight out there. And some developers are, voicing their frustration in regards to how tough it is out there right now in the digital asset space. Any company in the digital, whether you're on the XRP ledger or not, any company that's a startup that's trying to get going. It's tough out here for anyone. It's tough out here for the seasoned companies that have been around for 20, 30 years. We're seeing some of the largest companies go bust. And we're also seeing new flavor of the day companies come on in like WeWork and, get a $50 billion IPO just to go bankrupt and bust. So do we want to do that, or do we want to have something built out that's sustainable? That's what I see coming now to the XRP ledger is sustainable businesses, partnerships, utility, liquidity. We're talking about liquidity coming into these liquidity pools that won't be a rug pull, right? Because this is what Ripple can do with their XRP, where they won't have to sell it, right? And this is a way for them to put their XRP to work without even having to relinquish control, really. I mean, you are technically releasing control, but you still will get your XRP back, right? Or you'll have to sell back out of your liquidity pool tokens. I'll explain that more. We have more AMM content coming on the way. because I want to break this down in a proper setting and make it really easy for everyone to understand. And then we're going to be dropping a lot on how to do due diligence on the AMM liquidity pools and on looking at investing in companies in the digital asset space as well. Right now, I'm looking at companies in the commodity space as well. Just spoke with many, a couple CEOs of these miners, producers up here in Vancouver. And I'm looking at that space as well. Everybody's been overlooking the XRP ledger, but anybody who has taken a look at it, they're, looking at a cryptocurrency in an ecosystem that had this massive gray cloud over it. That's now subsiding. That's now evaporating. And now the sun can shine down on us. As I've been saying, the spotlight is going to shine on the XRP ledger community. Why do you think that Gemini is now offering XRP futures on their platform? They want a piece of the action, just like Robert Mitchnick going to BlackRock because BlackRock wanted a piece of the action, right? And you're going to see more of this. CoinDesk putting David Schwartz as the headline front page of CoinDesk yesterday. And the title of the article part of it was David Schwartz talking about bottom up development on the XRP ledger. My quick take on why they put forward this proposal for the XRP Ledger Foundation is that they wanted to see the ledger have a formal process for how things can be handled, decided, and done at the foundation. I believe that that's a good idea. I believe that's very, very healthy. You have all good people at the XRP Ledger Foundation. Good people building on the ledger, putting blood, sweat, and tears into the XRP Ledger ecosystem, backing up the network, advocating and educating. What we need to see, though, is a process for how decisions are made, for how, grants are done. And I believe that if the XRP Ledger Foundation has a set goals, intentions, expectations, laws, bylaws, right? This is a not for profit entity. As long as that's all set forward and the mission's very clear, I believe that Ripple would actually be willing to give the foundation more XRP because they would say, okay, now we have a clear process for voting on which companies should receive a grant. And so Ripple can start giving, they can give the foundation $1 billion XRP to divvy up how they see fit, because there will be a structure in a way for that to be voted on and conducted and decided in a decentralized way. Now, the other part, though, that we have to remember is that Ripple has some killers in the business world running that company. So there's some pretty good decision makers at that company. Now, you can tell that some folks are mad that they haven't gotten a grant from Ripple yet. That's fine. I get it. I believe that if you continue to show up, you build real value, real utility. Ripple is just running to give legitimate businesses and institutions XRP who are going to use it for utility and build out the ecosystem. I firmly believe that. They're giving XRP to universities. They're giving XRP to the foundation to get it started. They're giving XRP out in grants. They're doing another grant right now. And so for me, it's a perfect blend of, we got folks from the ground up building, and then at the very top, you have Ripple that's working on at a much higher level. That's the beautiful thing about this decentralized, open source, and permissionless ledger. And the price discovery that XRP is about to go into, I think, is a good investment opportunity. I'm not here to give anybody financial advice, but, I've never been more bullish on XRP, full disclosure. In an effort of the most, in an effort of being the most transparent, I'll be dead honest with you guys. I've never been more bullish on XRP because of this AMM that is coming. Scott, I believe you. Scott, I see you. 50 spot, big one from Scott there. I appreciate that. We got some plants in the chat, do we? We got some haters. Joe Crypto, I see you, Joe. God bless you. XRP or bust. It's just, one of many plays on this transfer of wealth that we're taking advantage of right now. Absolutely. I see we got some crazies in the chat. For me, I'm just going to be dead honest. Full disclosure, I've never been more bullish on XRP because this AMM is what the rest of the space has had. It's what everybody can now play with. And I'm going to tell you, we need to be very, very careful because it's not a get rich quick. It's not even really a get rich program, in my opinion. It's just a drip. It's just a little yield. And that's what it's all about, is that you're seeing many projects are doing airdrops to the XRP holders because they want the XRP community. Now, whether their project has any value or not, well, most of them don't, but it goes to show you that people want at the XRP community. They want at XRP. They want a piece of the action, all the way from the retail trying to now, get a play done with the AMM and the DeFi that's now going to be available, all the way up to the largest institutions, which are going to be launching XRP ETFs. That is 100% certainty. And so with that being said, guys, I've gone through my rant about Ripple not dumping on us. Do we have any questions or comments? Let me check the chat. I appreciate everyone for stopping by here tonight. God bless you all. Friday night full moon crazies up in here. Brenda, you know the deal. You know how it goes. Full moon has them all going wild, huh? This is why I got my birdies up here for you guys. Little nature in the background so it can calm you guys down. Everyone can relax a little bit. We got some green candles. I forgot to light my candle before the session, but the vibes are all right, okay? We don't have to get this crazy out here. Reaper coins providing drip, and I'm looking at the new Python, what is it called? Pillars. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at pillars. I'm going to be doing a deep dive on that one. That one's coming here soon. The Wolf Moon sacrifice. That's what's happening right now. Christy, thank you so much. Good to see you. Dogwood's on the 10% Belgian ale homebrew. You guys are wild. What do I think for XRP in 2024? I'm not ready. I'm not certain to say new all-time high in 2024, but I certainly believe in new all-time high in this bull run, which I believe can extend out to 2025. That's why I'm not ready to say 2024 just yet. I do believe that we get price action going up because of the AMM. I believe that there's going to be other factors like the SEC Ripple lawsuit coming to a conclusion that's going to make XRP price go up. When we hit new all-time high this year or next year, I firmly believe that. It is hot in my office. I just took down the AC when I was rearranging the office here, and I'm thinking I need to put that thing back up. It's the middle of winter, but it warmed up to, I think, about 50 degrees up here in the Pacific Northwest. In my office, I get my lights going, and my lights get it cooking up in here. It's like a massive lamp going. And I get sweating. Do you guys have any questions about the XRP Ledger Foundation proposal or what we chatted about here tonight? Tomorrow morning in our Discord, we will be having another weekly call. Like I said, I dropped an exclusive update for the Patreon Discord community earlier today. It was on the current events here in the United States, talking about Klaus Schwab's new deal, talking about the border crisis, talking about the FBI agent warning, the FBI officials that gave us the warning. Yeah, Richard Hart is a very interesting character, isn't he? Richard Hart is definitely an interesting one. Let's talk golf now. Well, I do love golf. I like having some adult beverages out, some nice weather. getting the strokes in, on the golf course. That's fun. I do like golf. I only golfed once in 2023, and before that it had been at least a few years before I had golfed. I love it though. I do like golfing. To me, I plan on probably only using the golfing for networking business meetings, right? That's probably all I plan on really using golfing for the foreseeable future. I'm just too busy, and wifey's not going to let me get away for that long. She keeps me on the tight leash. I'm locked here in my office. No, but yeah, I wish I had more time to golf. Golf's fun, but yeah, you can only spend so much time on the course. Most reliable crypto wallet? Well, that's a good question. We just saw the Trezor hack took place this week. And you have to understand that was third-party apps from what I understand. I haven't looked into it in depth, but from what I saw, the Trezor hack was third-party hosting apps. I don't know what that was, but this is the problem when you play with your wallets, your long-term holdings. Like for me, long-term holdings need to be on devices that are just not connected, that don't get used, right? This is the biggest problem, is that people tie their wallets to, third-party apps, to different deals for airdrops and this and that. And you got to be careful. Missy, appreciate you so much with that massive 20 spot. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. God bless you. I was just thinking about that as I was getting ready to fire it up. I see you posted the dancing emojis. I was listening to some music before I was getting on here, and I was just vibing. I was like, man, I do miss the good old days of going on TikTok live, bumping my music. I can't bump music. I mean, I could play some copyright free music, but I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTubes. But yeah, on the TikTok lives, we'd be bumping our vibes, having a good time, talking about crypto. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate you. BMX blockchain, thank you so much. I'm not done rearranging the studio. I still have a few things that I actually want to get done, but yeah, I did. I took some things down. I repainted the walls because this is a rental. I can't go all out. I can't rip this thing apart, especially because I'm probably going to be moving here shortly. So yeah, I had to just slap on paint to match the rest of the walls, and I can't really tear into too much here, but I'm really looking forward to the next spot that we get. We're going to set up another badass studio spot as well. Crazy Frank, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, my friend. Beef or chicken ramen? Trying to think. The only ones I've been doing lately have been the hot and spicy ones. Even though I don't like spice, I'm very soft in that regard. I really only like that type of ramen. I never have gone out and gotten like good ramen though, from like a ramen place. I've never done that. I'm a meat eater. I'm a steak or a burger or some sort, pork chop. I just got a good pork chop up in Vancouver. Had some good meals with our Discord family up in Vancouver. I tell you what, got to see a couple of our Discord community members up there. Absolute pleasure. Couple good steaks, a little pork chop. Gotta love it. Nice ramen is better. That's what I need to go. I'm not very cultured in that fashion, I guess. I haven't been to have good ramen. But I've been diversifying over the past few years, been trying to try some new things, but my mom raised me on a lot of bland. My mom raised me on mac and cheese. Kraft mac and cheese, man. Goodness gracious. Have I heard of Tangem? Yes, I have. We like it a lot. We just talked about the Tangem wallet in a most recent session that we had on our Discord group where we talked about off-ramping and wallets. Basically, how do we go from our Zum wallet, now it's called Zaman, back to an exchange and sell and move and store. And so we just had an updated session on that, and we did talk about the Tangent wallet being another way to enhance your security. Definitely. Folks need to go with what they're comfortable with. And then I also believe in diversifying, not keeping it all in one place. And, as XRP price goes up, our cryptocurrencies go up, I think that more folks will take the strategy more seriously. And a lot of people have not been taking storage seriously because, they've only invested a few $100 or a few $1,000. When you only have a few $100 on the line or a few $1,000 on the line, you don't really think about it. But then when you start to have hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, people are going to be desperate to get their storage solutions intact. And so right now is when we need to be doing that. When our bags are only worth 10,000, when our bags are only worth 50,000, whatever you got invested, right? Right now is when we need to have our wallet set up, and we also need to have our relationships with these exchanges so that we have off ramps that we can trust when we do want to go sell to get our profits. Oh, Vancouver definitely would have had good ramen sal. Absolutely. 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 Getting tired of all the price predictions, moneymaker boss. I understand. Yeah, the XRP community in general is just tired. We're all tired, right? And I get why people are so frustrated with that. For me, I've been putting it out. My targets are very clear. I'm looking at about a $7 to $13 price discovery that we achieve. And to me, that in and of alone is an investment opportunity to definitely get excited about. Right, because we're talking about a 10 to 20x plus. People dream of those returns in the traditional world, right? And you got to understand, let me be very clear. For me, like I said, I'm just focused on the news. I'm focused on when it's time to give my speculation, I'll make it clear. I'll share my speculation. But with XRP now, we have the ability to be getting a yield with not even having to sell, but also understanding too that we're going to get huge sell-offs on the way up. This is very important. That when we go to $1, $2, $5, there's going to be major pullbacks because there's so many people that are waiting on the sidelines for XRP to go. And they're going to be buying in and they're going to be selling off. It's a quick trade for them. And you also, this is the point that I was going to make. When you hear all these other stories, all these people are trying to talk about how all these other coins are making gains. Oh, I made 10x here. I made 20x here. I made 100x here. Okay, how much did you invest? Because people never tell you that. People never tell you how much profit they made, right? Now, that's because most people don't, share publicly, hey, I made 100 grand, right? That's really not smart. And it's, most people don't brag like that, right? But the reason why I bring this up is because many people are confused. I was thinking of this reading through the comments earlier today. People think, oh, they're making 10x here, they made a 5x, or this coin doubled. If you didn't throw serious money at it and time the trade properly, turning, a 10x from $100 to $1,000 is, relatively speaking, not going to move the needle in your life. But you can run around on the internet and say, oh, I got a 10x on meme coin. I got a 10x on BS. Okay, we can go make $1,000 too. And so please understand that. I understand that we're thin, we're frustrated. We hear all these stories. We look around. Oh, Solana went up. Oh, this coin went up. Who actually made real money? Not that many people. Not that many people. You turn $500 into $5,000. Yeah, you can pay off some bills. You can pay off the credit card. Is that generational wealth? No. Our program is for generational wealth. My program does include XRP going to a much higher price. Absolutely. Firmly stand by that. The investment opportunity is worth it even if XRP only goes to $10, $20 in the coming years. Just that move alone is life-changing if you play it right and you actually put something down on the line, which is difficult to do. I have sympathy. I understand why not everybody has. I mean, I don't have M's to throw at these investments. I'm not a millionaire yet. So, I get it. I mean, I started out by investing every last dollar. I 2018 to 2019 is when I first got into crypto, and when I started going from Bitcoin to XRP was in 2019. I went broke. My account would go negative because I was irresponsible. I was a young boy. I didn't have a family. I didn't have solid, I had my head screwed on straight and I was still cooking. I had my business. I was making money, but I wasn't being good with it. Now, the good news is that I had started to invest, but I was overinvested. Like many people are. It's easy to do. You get excited about the opportunity. You throw every last dollar. You make sacrifices, right? You eat the ramen so that you can stack up. And that's what I've done. And, the reason why I say that is to understand why for someone like me, I am going to take a little something off the top at a $10 XRP, at a $20 XRP. I am not holding my bag for a much higher price. But on the other side of that coin, I take a look at an opportunity where I am not comfortable ruling out high prices. I understand why people are tired of XRP price predictions. For me, I just try to talk about the utility, the partnerships, the adoption for the most part, right? When it's time to talk about XRP price, I'm willing to be candid out here. I'm willing to tell you guys that I went broke every month. I mean, all the time. That was not, as a business owner, entrepreneur, you get used to going to zero, right? You put all your money back into the company. So I've been here before. Now, for the last 2 years, we warned about recession and we warned about getting liquid. And that's why over the last 2 years, I've built up my cash position. I'm doing this to move on real estate. When the right deal comes along, I can swoop it up. I got cash on the sidelines, and now I'm interested in private equity. I got cash on the sidelines. I'm interested in other cryptocurrencies, but I do a lot of due diligence on these, and it has to go through my sniff test, which is a very hard one to pass. 9 out of 10 investment opportunities in the digital asset space, I don't overlook, I dismiss. And so I get it. I get the XRP price predictions have wore people out. I get it. And that's why I put out the video of my last live that I just did was realistic XRP timeline, because I wanted to give folks an idea of where I think we're at on the timeline. A realistic expectation, which is we're entering a commodity super cycle. And I include crypto commodities in that. I include XRP in that, XLM, XDC, Algorand, HBAR, a few other cryptos, right? Bitcoin to me does not have utility. But in this commodity super cycle, the run up in 2024 and 2025 is just the next wave. We had a run up in 2021. We're going to have another run up here this year and into 2025. But then I'm expecting us to have another run up into 2028, 2029. And so for me, my expectations are a run up to double digit prices in the next year or two. That's where I'm at. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. You got to be willing to speculate. I mean, we're here to make money. And everybody needs to be an adult and hold themselves accountable for their investment decisions as well. I'm just sharing my story. I'm not here to be anybody's financial advisor. But I am going to be the most transparent so that everybody understands my the context around my content is understanding that I'm very bullish on XRP. Full disclosure. Everybody knows it. I wear it on my sleeve happily. And I'm happy to explain why. And I'm happy to let people attack my ideas, try to poke holes in my thesis. That's what you want. That's how you know you have conviction and you're in an investment that has fundamentals. And so I would just say, understand we're right there. A lot of people dumping right now when we're about to break out into the next bull run. We may have already started the next bull run. We probably already have bottomed out. I don't think that Bitcoin sets a new bottom. I don't think that the crypto space is going to set a new bottom. I think that we're going to go through a correction, and then we're going to begin the next bull run. The next bull run, I believe, will basically start right before or after a black swan scenario plays out. Similar to March 2020 events, I believe that we have something similar coming. We have obviously a little skirmish on the southern border that's looking to develop potentially. The good news is that we have many patriots on the ground, but the bad news is that our enemy is evil and they're willing to play dirty. So stay safe out there. The reason why I put out the Patreon exclusive Discord update this morning was because I wanted to talk about prepping a little bit too. I wanted to talk about we need to be prepared, not just for the hurricane to come through town, not just for the snowstorm to come through town. Right now, the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast, I guess, is getting hit with an atmospheric river. I mean, shoot, talk about clickbait. These weather reporters have been clickbaiting like crazy lately. They got all these crazy new terms. End of the world soon, end of the world this, atmospheric river here. It's just crazy, right? But I say all that because we have situations like that unfolding on top of domestic activity that's, targeting our grid and infrastructure that's absolutely critical to our daily lives. And so, like I said, the enemy's willing to play dirty. It's up to us to prepare. Right now, we set our intentions, we control our energy, and we bring order to the chaos around us. It's about to get crazier. The chaos is ramping up. We still have a ways to go, right? We're only in January. This election isn't until November, if we even have one. It's getting spicy here in the United States of America, and God bless this country. Goodness gracious, thank goodness we have somewhat of a rule of law left. And we're going to have to fight like hell for that level playing field to save this country and to stack as much of real assets, real value as possible. And so, like I said, if you're looking to get precious metals, we have you covered at my website, zachrector.com. Should be linked up down below. And we also have our cryptocurrency exchanges and wallets. And so if you're looking to get tapped in, it's a way to support the show. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to be having our weekly Discord call tomorrow morning. That's at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 Eastern, where every single week we get together, and it's a way for you to connect with me and connect with our community as well. So if you're looking to get in, that's at the website, zachrector.com. I appreciate everyone for your support, all the super chats that came in tonight. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to like this video. I really do appreciate it. And we're going to drop some more content tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for stopping by. God bless you all.